Tonight's show, we're going to be taking a look at racing, speed, and a World Series update.
And adventure. Let's not forget that mountain biking is about the freedom to explore, not just about against the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Haibike FlyOns are ready to order. They're out the door, so we'll be taking a closer look.
Can't wait.
Chris, I'm really excited. The new Haibike microsite is out for the FlyOn, which means the FlyOn bikes are now available to order. You know, this is a highlight bike of 2019.
Big one for me as well, definitely.
Yeah, cannot wait to get my hands on one of those bikes.
Yeah, they look really good. That 180mm travel one, it's got the FlyOn motor, 120 Newton torque.
That's a lot.
Imagine what you can do on that thing. The slab, that's a thing of the past. I think we're going to be going up. We're going to climb up the Shard, I think, this time. Get some tow ropes ready.
I'm going to hold you to that. You reckon we can take that FlyOn up steeper stuff than we did previously?
Possibly, yeah.
Whoa, that's gigantic torque.
Another thing I'm looking forward to with that bike is that built-in Skybeamer light. I'm going to get the night riding in.
Which means we can do the slab in the dark.
Oh my God, I didn't think of that. That will be amazing. So yeah, really looking forward to getting those.
Yeah, and of course, because you got the lights and everything. It means, night riding.
Yeah.
It's all ready to go, right?
Yeah,
but for me, I think a really important part of the new FlyOn is the geometry. So the sizing has changed quite significantly this year to last year. So, for example, at 6 foot, I'm now thinking, am I a large or am I an extra large?
I'm always on that border too, yeah.
Yeah, because now, on the current bikes with the Bosch motor, that's for 2019 as well, you've got reach, which is a good indicator of size. Large is 460, whereas the XL is 483. On the new bikes, the large is 467 and the XL is 497, so which means the size on these bikes, there's something there for people over 6 foot as well.
That's good.
Now, I don't want to we shouldn't really make generalizations about reach. Reach is a good indicator. It's not the be-all and end-all of on fit, because such things as bottom bracket height and the way the suspension works. But it's going to be really quite a juggle to get the right size on that bike.
I think I'll go for a large. I always like to go for that in between. I like, jumping around doing a bit of extreme stuff. I find the XL for me is a bit of a big old bike to chuck around, whereas I know you prefer that big, comfortable bike smashing those miles up.
Well, I think I'm probably going to be. I'm looking probably for a large as well. I think, especially on the FlyOn. Right,
you're going to be joining me on the big jumps and stuff then, by the sounds of it.
Absolutely no chance. But another thing to think about is the wheelbase and the chainstay on the new FlyOn, especially with the 120 Newton meter motor. So they've gone from 460 up to 470, which means that's going to be one hell of a good climbing bike to give you more stability on the back. Plus, the wheelbase, the wheelbase has gone up. You're looking at, I think, a 1290 wheelbase on the size large. That's a long bike.
Yes.
Would help you break that 100k speed limit, which you failed to do. I can't believe have you got the right to come in the office? 99.4 kilometers an hour.
I know, nearly there, but maybe that new FlyOn will help me out with that one.
I can't believe you got the cheek to come in the office.
Or maybe you can come with that extra weight and smash it for us. We can talk 120k.
It's all about the ballast, Christopher.
So let's talk about racing. This weekend saw the Enduro series take place in Varese.
Yeah, Varese in Italy. This was the last round of the series, and lots of big names of this event. Curtis Keane from Specialized, Miranda Miller, the 2017 World Downhill Champion. It was actually won by Italian Simone Martinelli on a rocky mountain. But continuing the racing theme, now last week we had a behind-the-scenes look at WES, which is the Monaco-based organisers who are going to be holding a World Enduro Series next year. Now, the guys from eEnduro are actually running their own eEnduro World Series next year, called EEWS. A
lot of E's coming on here.
A lot of E's coming on here. But we're going to give you more of an update from Luca and Franco Monchiero, who are the characters behind this, next week. But it seems that these guys are more towards the sort of enduro racing.
Yeah,
we covered WES last week, which is probably more cross-country enduro tour orientated, and obviously there's I'm going to come back onto WS later in the show, but I'm really excited about the Italians because those guys are mad for enduro racing.
Yeah, they love it out there, don't they? Big scene. I think Donnie was out there at the weekend, last week at the EWS, and he could not believe the amount of e-bikes that are floating around in finale.
Yeah, basically at the EWS, there's more e-bikes than normal bikes. Mental.
So it's not all about racing, Steve. There's lots of other things going on around the globe. Out in Brixham, we saw a big e-bike open day. There's a really cool video floating around from Guido Chug on his Husqvarna around the festival, on the trails, ripping through the streets, pit stop strategies. This is a cool little vid.
Yeah, it's Richard Kay coming from Guido, who used to be a four-cross racer, World Masters champion.
Yep.
Clearly he's having a great time, just cruising around the tracks in Brixham. I was there in the summer with Shimano, and it's quite a hub of activity that town. Some amazing trails there.
It looks it from the video.
Yeah, exactly, as Guido shows on his Husqvarna. Chris, really exciting new news.
Big news.
We've got Ask EMBN coming to the channel.
Yeah.
Cannot wait, because I want to know what you guys think about all aspects of e-bike, whether it be speed, motors, wheels, gears,
bikes, absolutely anything to do with
anything,
e-bikes.
Terrain, where in the world you can ride. We want to know your questions, so it's coming soon, right, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to know more about e-bikes, as Steve's mentioned, just drop us a comment in below, hashtag EMBN, hashtag Ask EMBN, and we'll get back to those comments. We'll compile a list of those up, we'll get back to them, answer them all in one big news show.
Do you know what? Ask EMBN, I can't wait to get stuck into that with you, Chris.
Definitely, yeah.
Fantastic. Wow, Chris, so good to be back on terra firma.
Good to have you back.
So good back on home soil. This time last week, I was on the Knoydart Peninsula in the middle of nowhere with Hannah Barnes, and we've got a video on that trip coming up on EMBN very soon. Chris, such a rugged, remote environment, so different to the Alps and Switzerland. It's pretty mental.
Switzerland, let me stop you there. Swiss. Yeah. We've got the awesome new DT Swiss F535 one fork to give away.
That's a super clean fork.
Yeah.
What, we're giving one of those away?
We got one of those to give away.
So
tell us about it, Steve.
You know
yeah, come on.
Okay. It comes in a variety of travel options. Also, it's 27.5, 29 wheel size. And like I said, all the dials are very hidden on it.
Real clean looking fork.
Once you've set the air spring on that fork, it's pretty much good to go. However, there is a really couple of neat touches on it. In the front axle, you can remove that, and there's a little adjuster there to adjust your remote.
Oh, like a little Allen key.
Adjust your rebound. Built-in mudguard.
List goes on.
List goes on, yeah. And we're giving one of these away. Can't believe that.
If you want to learn how to win one of those, there's going to be a link in the screen now or in the description below. So get entering that and win this awesome fork.
Can we win one?
I'd love to. So it's time for feedback. We've had loads of good comments this week from all the recent videos. Steve did a great one with Jess last week, heavyweight versus featherweight.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. Honestly, just blown away by the feedback on the range feature which I did with Jess. Now, lots of science-based answers to our feature, and I'm loving what some of the stuff you guys have come up with.
Calvin Bettridge. He says recharge, swap batteries. Swap batteries and repeat.
Absolutely, we could do that.
What would that be about? Different batteries. What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, it comes down to Mythics 23, who says that not all batteries are created equally, and that's a good point, really. So we should do that in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
But check this out. This one though from Nut. Nut says it seems the climb in the end was the most demanding section of the ride, with the highest power input/output. With the motor has to dish out a lot of power at low battery voltage, the battery will have to increase the current. If the motor is demanding more current than a low state of charge battery can deliver, voltage will drop rapidly and the system will shut down. If you'd reduced the load in the end, ridden on flat terrain, the difference could very well have been much greater.
I can see that.
So this is important. It's like where you ride at the end of a charge.
I had that exact same thing on that big ride. I did that 100-kilometer ride. That last climb, I had 2 bars, and all of a sudden, poof, down to 1 mile range left.
And as Nut concludes, it's really difficult to interpret if the difference between the results is big or not. If the load is considerably higher on the last section, then the difference between the light and heavier rider will be higher than the difference in distance indicates. There's so much to think about here. But Chris, this is a great comment. This is from Lee Dove.
I've read this one, and I don't even know we need our top-level scientists in for this formula. But go ahead. Steve.
Well, this is what Lee says. Lee says that the speed, velocity you climb at, has much more influence than mass. Kinetic energy formula here. So weight has a linear effect, but velocity difference is squared. So if the system weight is 14% less, the best you should get is 14% more range. So given all the other variables, 10%-ish is to be expected.
I would say 13%, wouldn't you, to 13%?
Well, Lee's basically saying it's what the result we got is actually not far out. Even with that formula which he gave, which is way over my head.
And my head.
So yeah, I think in the bottom line is that we actually did that ride. Me and Jess went and did the ride. We did the same cadence. We constantly changed the gears. We're in the same gearing, and it's a fact on the ground, right? Yeah. So I think we should revisit it, and we should go in eco, and we should go in trail to try that.
Yeah.
We should also try the same battery, do a recharge on the battery, and also the next step we're going to do is a ride of the same watt output. So there's cool. much more to go on this subject. Yeah. But Chris, this week has been all about the speed, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I did my 100 km/h speed attempt. What was it, Stephen?
Attempt. That is it. It's an attempt, right?
Yeah, so you got really close. If you haven't seen the video,
it's only because I was too scared to do it.
But that was crazy. That was literally the fastest I've ever been off-road, and I've had some pretty scary moments on my bike. But
I'm a bit concerned, but those poor old sheep there.
I was concerned about them hitting one of those things. I wouldn't be here if I hit one of those.
I can't believe you even considered
definitely would be here.
Sheep. But anyway,
probably had a good Sunday meal out of one of those. But we've had loads of comments as usual. We've got Boss Manati here saying, using a massive hill and still way slower than my e-bike going uphill. So this guy must be going 100 kilometres uphill. So I'm really interested to see what e-bike he's got. That must have a huge motor.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a throttle.
Look, the thing is, right, here on EMBN, we deal with mid-drive motors, 250 watts, right?
Mountain bikes.
Mountain bikes, I don't think... We'll come on to speed a bit later in the show, but there's e-bikes that can go 120 kilometres an hour.
With a throttle.
With a throttle. But
we're not doing that. We're talking about pedalling.
But you didn't even pedal. You were freewheeling. What's that last comment there, Chris?
And we've got Mark Collingwood. He's regular on the channel. Always comments good stuff as well. We've got bloody good effort, Chris.
Is that you giving yourself a gigantic pat on the back?
So yeah, cheers, Mark. That was an epic ride and it was scary. And I really hope it does come across on the video.
Right, time for in-depth. Chris, I think your speed feature has really stirred a hornet's nest about speed, and I want to talk about it in depth with you. Obviously, here at EMBN, we ride mid-drive bikes, 250 watts. 25 kilometers an hour restriction here in Europe, but in the US it's 30 kilometers an hour. Now you've obviously got e-bikes which are faster than that, speed pedelecs, but in that instance you need to have licensing, insurance and lights and blah 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 blah. Yeah. Nevertheless, you've proved we do go beyond 25 kilometers an hour, whether it be under our own steam. Or whether it's gravity led, dropping off the side of a mountain and stuff like that. But there are electric bikes out there which do go faster than 25 kilometers an hour or 30 kilometers an hour, throttle controlled or pedal assisted. And myself and Josh, we came across a guy in the Forest of Dean not so long ago who'd built his own bike, which was, I think it was 1,000 watts, and it did 100 kilometers an hour.
Right.
These bikes are out there. Let's not pretend they don't exist. But my question to you, Chris, is how important is speed to you on an electric mountain bike? So I want to get you to put your answers on the postcard and we'll discuss it. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's do that. So we've taken 10 minutes, half an hour, to look at what we feel are the most important features on an e-bike. And where does speed come in this list? So Chris, what was your... First of all, you see, number one is natural mountain bike feel. Explain that.
So I like to get on that mountain bike and feel, on that e-bike and feel that I'm
not... No, mountain bike's fine. It is a mountain bike.
An e-bike, whatever you want to call it. Get on my bike and feel natural on it. I don't want to feel like I'm stepping on a motorbike and twisting that throttle. I still want to be pedaling through the woods, enjoying the countryside.
But you know what? I think you nailed it there. Is that I think e-bikes are becoming recognised more as mountain bikes even as the weeks go by.
Definitely,
aren't they?
100%.
I think conventional mountain bikes are getting shunted that way, and I think e-bikes are definitely more mountain bike than ever before, right?
Yeah, for sure. So what's one of your biggest
Number
things?
one for me is battery range.
Yeah.
I guess it's influenced by my time in the Scottish Mountains last week. But, I like to be able to go out there without the worry or anxiety of being able to come back home. So, I think, looking at 700 watt hour batteries, that means, there's no end. Basically, if you've got a 700 watt hour battery, it means that you're going to get tired before that bike is. So that's really number one on my list. Yeah, number two on yours, Chris?
So motor characteristics was the next sort of second thing on my list. I just like the way, that motor engages and disengages. It still, as mentioned earlier, feels like a regular bike. You just got that added kick if you want it, but you can ease off and just spin along like you can on a regular bike.
And I guess also once you go beyond that 25k, you can pedal through that zone and keep you're doing it under your own steam, right?
Definitely. Yes, that's really important for me.
Yeah, totally.
Number two for you?
Suspension. I think an e-bike has to have suspension. I'm done with hardtails myself. I mean, they're great if you ride forest trails or towpaths, but if you're getting in the mountains and you're riding a mountain bike, then I think suspension, about 150, 160, 180 is a must.
Definitely helps out, for sure.
Number three.
Silence.
Absolutely.
I love riding when I'm out on my bike, I just like to be riding along. I know it sounds cliche, but hearing the birds, looking, wildlife, every stuff like that. I know. I love just looking around and seeing that stuff, out on a ride.
Well, hold on. So you're doing your 60-foot gap jumps going,
a deer,
sparrow.
Oh, look,
sparrow
a buzzard down there.
Buzzard,
flying over those sparrowhawks.
I get you.
No, but just going along silence, that's what bikes is about for me. It's not all about riding along. Done with that on motorbike.
And you know what? A lot of e-bike motors are becoming more and more silent as the years go by.
Number three?
Number three on my list is geometry. Pointless having a motor and a battery if your geometries are long. If you can't have the bottom bracket too high because it's going to affect how the bike corners. The bike can't be too short, so that means the stability is affected. Sizing, you've got to have a bike that fits you because fatigue, if the bike's too small for you, you're going to become fatigued very quickly. So number three on my list is geometry. 4, Chris.
So what I love about e-bike, compared to the other bikes, it's just being able to go straight out my front. I'm on about if we had one of those like e-motorbikes, basically.
Speed pedelecs.
On the e-bike, I've obviously got no insurance, no number plate, things like that. I can just wheel it straight out my front door, ride along a path, get on the road, and go straight to the trails. I'm not blasting around, scaring the neighbourhood.
Exactly.
It's just it's a normal bike.
Yeah, you're not doing ridiculous speeds in it. So I think it's really important. That 25k an hour. Is really important.
Number 4 for you, Steve?
Reliability.
It's a big
one. I mean,
well.
don't need to expand on that really. And number 5 in yours, Chris?
Speed. I think that all important e-bike speed on the trail.
So speed does come in your list.
Definitely comes in. That's the reason I ride e-bike. It's just keep that flow more than it's not necessarily speed, it's just flow. Like if you ride a regular pedal mountain bike, some of those boring flat bits of single track, you get a motor in there, just add a little bit of speed, that trail becomes alive. It's no longer just a little boring bit of trail.
I guess you bring it what you're talking about is you can do technical hill climbs as well.
So
you're going up, you're doing that and going down to that's another flow. And the fact is you can do more trails.
Exactly, in the same time. So.
Exactly.
And what's number 5 for you then, Steve?
Well, you'd be surprised, but I think aesthetics.
Definitely, something good to look at.
I want a traditional mountain bike silhouette, and I think, as I said, it's becoming increasingly that way. And, I think when people buy mountain bikes, they buy them for how they look. That's how it is.
Yeah, you've got to look pretty.
Exactly. So, there you go. That's mine and Chris's top 5, and it seems the speed... not really top of our list, really.
Exactly. We'd be interested to see what your top 5s are as well. List them below. Get in comments as well. I'd really like to hear what you guys think of those important things about e-bikes.
Bang on. A couple of weeks ago, managed to bump into the Orange crew down in the woods and had a look at their Orange Alpine e-bike. And this is what we found. Made in Halifax, designed in Halifax, the Orange Alpine 6E, 170mm travel front and 160 on the rear, all aluminium chassis. It houses a Shimano E8000 motor and battery with 70 Newton meters of torque. Now visually, I don't know, it's up to you, but in terms of geometry, this bike is absolutely bang on. It really is pin sharp, especially when it comes to descending. And that's because of the numbers involved. 64.5 degree head angle, 342mm bottom bracket. The corner on this bike is amazing. In terms of the componentry, well, the bike comes in 3 models. You've got the Pro, the RS and the Factory. And that's shown in the spec on this bike. This has got a Lyric up front. This is the RS and it's got a Monarch shock. Stands rims, Pro 4 hubs, rental handlebars, reverb seat posts. There's a really nice finishing kit on this bike. Okay, moving on to French shores. Chris, you were taken with the Lapierre E Zesty, right?
Yeah, the Ultimate 2019 model looks amazing. This bike, it's got one of the big removable, the Fazua battery and motor. So
Fazua!
18 kilograms, this bike, basically the frame. And their idea of it, you can remove that battery and ride it as a standard mountain bike.
18 kilos, that's not far off what enduro bikes were, 4 or 5 years ago.
What's your thoughts about riding without a battery though on an e-bike?
Riding without a battery on an e-bike?
Yeah.
Where did that question come from?
That's what they're saying about this Fazua thing, is like the idea of it, you can ride it as a normal mountain bike. 18 kilos, or slot that battery in, obviously going to be slightly heavier.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea.
And I
think it'll be that transition for some people between a mountain bike and an e-bike.
Or maybe if they're riding with standard mountain bike friends, you could ride with them.
It gives you no end of options. Exactly. You can ride it without a battery, you can ride it with a battery with the motor off, or you can ride it with a battery. So
universal.
Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. Actually, the sky is no limit.
So it's time for Climb of the Week. What have we got, Steve?
This week it's from Wales, and it's a fantastic video by Emyr Davies and his wife Maynard. This is their ascent of Wales' highest mountain, Snowdon, and it's an epic ride, and I think this really does epitomise everything which is great about e-mountain biking. You're in the mountains, you've got a technical climb, you've got a summit, and you've got incredible views from this peak. What do you think about it, Chris?
It does look really cool, doesn't it? Go from that bright blue sky all the way up to the snowy, actually riding in the snow, blasting, going past those analog acoustic bikes on the way up, that poor guy pushing his bike up, and Emyr just riding past.
Emyr.
Is it Emyr?
Yeah, it's Emyr. So there's an access restriction on Snowdon, which prevents you going up there between the hours of 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. certain times of the year. But, when you can get up that place, obviously there's a train that goes to the top of Snowdon. It's a very busy place. So I think, it's important to respect that access to this, special mountain. But Emyr is a local. He knows every step of that trail. Yeah. And 45 minutes to get up to the top. That's, I think it takes the train over an hour to get to the top of that.
Faster than the train.
It's hell of a fast.
So it's time for electrics. This is where we show you how to do those little cool tricks on your e-bike. This week, what have we got?
On electrics this week, we have Chris showing you how to do a stoppie.
Check it out. Welcome to electrics. This week, we'll be taking a look at the stoppie. So the stoppie isn't actually that much good out on the trail. What it is good for is learning front brake modulation, finding that balance point and finding that point of no return where you go over the handlebars. It's also a really cool one for showing off in front of your mates in the car park. This is how we do it. So for the stoppie, you need to find a piece of flat ground first. Advance is to use it on a slope, but dial in the technique, you need to find that flat bit of ground first. All we do is come into it with good forward speed, sort of jogging pace. Just start pulling on that front brake a little bit, just trying to lift that back wheel off the ground, kind of like when we're doing an endo. So if you can do the endo, stoppie is basically adding a lot of speed to that, but modulating that front brake as soon as that bike comes into that endo position. Just coming in, good forward speed, squashing that fork, learning that front brake bike point. Just go nice and slowly first. And you just need to add a little bit more speed to it. And then if you're getting the grips of that, getting that balance point, feeling confident, take it to a downhill slope, because that momentum will carry you further down the hill, makes the trick a hell of a lot easier. There you go, that slope made that trick 10 times easier. Just build up in little tiny steps. Once you've got that stoppie dialed in, it's time to take it to the extreme.
And it's time for Ghetto Tech.
So this is really neat. We've got Sansom Loeb chuck this one in. This is the ultimate tool for getting that bike featured in the Bike Vault. It's a portable bike stand. Check this one out.
So basically it's made of aluminium, weighs less than a kilo. It's the same sort of size as my power tube battery. Slides around, fits underneath the crank and holds your bike up.
Right, it's now time for Insta Bangers. And what have we got on Insta Bangers this week, Christopher?
So you've got Jasper Penton here. He's on Cannondale. He's on that Motera LT, chucking it around.
Has he stolen your place on the team?
Looks like it, yeah. He's a real wild man on a bike, but this time on his, as I say, his Motera, chucking that e-bike around like no one else can.
Well, you mentioned earlier, actually, he looks very similar to Brandon Semenuk.
I reckon he's got some good style in there.
Right.
It could possibly the UK...
I mean, that's king-size talk.
UK's answer to Brandon Semenuk style-wise.
Don't forget the kit. Don't forget the EMBN kit. I'm in the air-conditioned room. Chris is obviously a little bit cold.
Sweating it out. And
feeling the seasons. But yeah, check out the EMBN shop. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, you name it, we got it. And helps us keep all those cool videos coming to you guys at EMBN. And we're running on the e-bike vault party. What have we got?
So you got Chris sent in this Scott e-Spark 720.
Can I stop you there?
No.
Are we going to be able to ride up that volcano in the background?
That in the background.
Where St. Austell Corner. Chris, let's get through this bike vault and let's get our asses down to St. Austell and get up that bank.
It's been on my radar, St. Austell, actually. Loads of big
time to get it off the radar, time to get up the bank.
But let's get back to the bike. What are you thinking?
I got time. It's, you name it.
Super nice.
Super nice.
Nice one. Next one.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. Where is that? That's.
You got Grisa sent in his Haibike Enduro 7.0 in Slovenia.
Nice, I like
Just
that.
having some fun in the mountains.
I think, yeah, I'm giving that super nice because that opens up loads of possibilities to where he's located. Super nice. Ooh, crikey, is that a lot of processing?
HDR, a bit of HDR going on here over process, do you think? So who's it from?
This? Northumberland. Northumberland does not look like that, right? It's blue sky.
It's nice.
It's blue sea.
It's nice.
It's a nice. Kielder Reservoir, nice.
Let's move on. So we've got Aventur here.
There's probably a bit of mean on that last one. It's actually a nice photograph. We can't go back. Anyway.
So you've got Merida E160 here, Lower Austria, 60k of north of
Now
Vienna.
sometimes you can take a shot from the back of a bike and it makes it look good. Sometimes it doesn't quite work. I don't think you've got the best out of your bike in this situation. I'm sorry. It's a nice.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nice. Moving on.
Chris,
nice.
do you mind if I just put my arm around you like that?
That's right. We can snuggle up.
Yeah.
Steve.
Giant. This looks like the Welsh Hills, doesn't it?
Bath.
Oh, it's Bath. Oh my God!
2 minutes away from here, Steve. How can you mistake that from your...
Well, it's super nice, isn't it? Super nice.
Is.
Gotta be
This is
super
from
nice.
Steve. I think, doesn't he lives around here as well. Popped in the office.
All right.
Nice.
Steve the Decorator. Sorry, Steve, I can't even read that.
Use your glasses.
Steve the Decorator, non-biased. There you go. It was super nice.
It does look good.
Steve, we need to go for a spin sometime. Give us a shout.
So
look at that.
The Specialized or any of the Kenevo must come with a processing kit for your camera as well.
Yeah.
So we've got Kenevo here, sent in from Poole, Forest of Dean, just chilling at his local quarry.
Look,
what are you thinking?
Let's get something straight, right? I live in the Forest of Dean, and the Forest of Dean does not look like that. So it's a nice. But what I will tell you is it does have that amount of airplanes go overhead because I've got the Planes Live app. Check that out.
Plane geek, aren't you, Steve?
Come on, let's go. It's a nice. Ooh, brace some Moteras.
Don't see too many Moteras on here, but yeah, looks good. Nice bike, nice backdrop. The Long Mind. I was actually up there to do my speed record. Yeah. Just in the background, Care Caradoc. Is that you? Come on, Steve. Give me. How do you pronounce
Kai Caradoc. Now, what is that? Is that a nice or a super nice?
I like it. I can give that a super.
Of course he is, because he used to ride for Cannondale and he doesn't want to piss them off.
Nice.
Too dark. Too dark.
It's
nice.
It's
nice. It's nice. Move on.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
So again, another shot from behind.
He's got a Focus Jam 29.
Stirling,
Scotland.
I
First
do
go
like
on a
that.
new bike. Best smiles for miles he's ever had.
Do you know what? Fair dues. That's super nice. He's enjoying himself. Right.
First ride on the e-bike.
Yeah. Sorry, can I just give this super nice? Right.
Moving on,
Focus.
we've got Mick here, Focus Sam 2, 2018 in Sweden. Some new parts on his bikes. He's been a bit of colour coordination, pedals, grips, fork logo, rear mudguard. It's all looking pretty coordinated to me. Nice pedals level, nice backdrop. I'm liking
Clock's ticking, Chris.
Super nice. And that's it, we're out of the bike vault. Keep sending those bikes in, definitely going to feature them. Bit of a backlog as always, but we will feature them. Keep sending them in. EMBN upload service. All details at the bottom of the screen. Keep sending them in. Love to see your bikes.
Were we a bit flippant on that bike vault?
I think you're quite harsh.
Sorry.
So what we've got coming up on the channel this week? Some cool stuff, I think, Steve.
Up on the channel this week, we have got the Into the Wilderness with Hannah Barnes, which includes some amazing scenery in the middle of nowhere, like I mentioned. Cool. We crossed the wilderness. We got a boat across the mainland. We went on the Harry Potter Express back to Fort William. It's all time. It's absolutely all time. It was actually a bit scary. Put us into some pretty... There's a few moments we had, I can assure you that.
I heard you broke one of our cameramen as well on that trip.
Let's move on. Also, we're at Rock d'Azur Mountain Bike Festival in France this week, and next week's show is going to be brought to you from that location.
Can't wait.
Don't forget, there's some great videos on EMBN already. Check out Chris Smith's speed feature, the 100 kilometers an hour speed feature, which is absolutely epic.
And me and Steve also check out the world's steepest climb on an e-bike. Did we conquer that huge climb? Massive granite slab. What was it, 7? What was it? How steep was it?
Whatever. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to EMBN if you've not already done so.